Oh my god, another broken spellcaster. Today, it's time to talk about Sorcerer. In 5e, Sorcerers are strong, but people often dislike the fact that you cannot prepare a lot, which is fair enough, it's a bit annoying. This has been changed in One D&D, but that's not all. They've received a ton of buffs, making them even stronger than wizards. And wizards in 5e are known to be the strongest class in the game. The king has been overthrown. Welcome to Pack Tactics, where everyone is born with magic. Sorcerers now have access to all arcane spells, which includes basically all the wizard spells. That means they get access to spells like Rope Trick, Wall of Force, Magic Jar, Simulacrum, Force Cage, Antipathy, Sympathy, and more. But that's not all. Additionally, sorcerers now cap at 22 prepared spells instead of the previous 15. This is a big deal because it allows sorcerers to prepare many more useful spells. It's unclear though whether future subclasses may include even more spells, but we'll see. But these two combined is a massive boost to Sorcerer. Like, oh my god! At level 1, they get 2 spells, and both of them are basically never worth casting. It's Chaos Bolt, which I made an entire video talking about why it sucks, and a new cantrip called Sorcerous Burst. It's only available to Sorcerer. This cantrip does a scaling d6 damage, but with the special property that makes it explode on a 6. Meaning you roll another d6 and add the total damage, but it's limited to your spellcasting ability modifier. This is way too low damage. Yes, I know it explodes, which increases the average, but damage is all this does. And it does bad damage. If we assume a +5 bonus, you do about 4 damage on a hit at level 1, and 16 damage at level 17 plus. This is lower than Ray of Frost, which does more than just damage. The feature that gives you these two spells is basically nothing burger. I would never cast either of these spells. Font of Magic has been nerfed. Sorcerer levels are a prerequisite for creating spell slots now. It's okay, I don't think it's a big deal. Meta Magic got some huge changes. First, it got moved from 3rd level to 2nd level, and many of them also got reworked. Additionally, you get 3 at the start instead of 2. You get 3 more at level 13 instead of 1 at 10 and 1 at 17. And you get to change your selection every long rest. I actually think this is perfect. I'm fine with this. I would like to see this in the final product. Meta magics are really cool and quite essential for my idea of 5e Sorcerer. But I don't want to go through literally all the changes to meta magic because there's a ton of them. But generally, many of them got better and close to each other's power. I actually think that's impressive. Like, Careful spell now prevents a creature from taking any damage, and Heightened spell now costs 2 sorcery points instead of 3, as well as imposing disadvantage on all the target saves against the spell rather than only the first one. One that I will mention in detail is Twin Spell. This was basically the best one in 5e, but now it's worse in some ways and better in others. Now you can repeat a casting of your previous turn by spending sorcery points equal to the spell's level instead of a spell slot. So for example, you cast Fireball 2 turns in a row with 1/3 level spell slot. I gotta say, they did a really good job with everything involving meta magic. I'm really impressed. I actually love this. Good job. I'm also really impressed with Describe, where you can get professionally written box descriptions of basically everything. Thousands of scenes. Wait, it's actually more than 10,000 now. That's really impressive.
Kobold, you got the name wrong again.
I like my pronunciation better. Anyways, with Describe, they've got fancy maps too. Mouse over points of interest and read them for your players. Here's a new map, the Great Library. You can have a quest giver here explain the situation of the campaign, and then suddenly assassins attack.
Kobold, what about ninjas?
That's a good idea. And then you play cool battle music and sound effects to really immerse your players. By the way, I'm using their music throughout this entire video. I highly recommend you check it out. Link in the description. dscribe.com/packtactics. And if you like what you see, they hope to earn your subscription. Use the code PACKTACTICS at the checkout to get 10% off your first subscription payments. At level 5, they get a new feature, which is basically just a spell. Sorcerer's Vitality. This seems situational at best and not often worth a 3rd level spell slot, so whatever. They get a similar thing at level 7, a spell called Arcane Eruption, which is similar to a 4th level casting of Fireball, but it's a Constitution saving throw and deals 66 damage of a type of your choice. It also has an additional rider effect. I don't know exactly when you choose your die, but if it's after rolling, then this is a pretty decent spell, as there's a decent chance you get one die roll with a good effect. At level 9, another spell, Sorcery Incarnate. This again is not a spell I'd cast. Sorceress Restoration moved forward from 20th to 15th level. And it's even improved. You basically need to take one less short rest, because you also gain them back when rolling initiative. While this is a buff, I do like it, because it makes meta magic more prevalent. And finally, we're at the strongest capstone I've ever seen. Arcane Apotheosis. You get this at 18th level. Now, you would think this would be an epic feat, but it's not. You are now so suffused with magic that you can alter reality itself. You always have the wish spell prepared, and if you undergo the spell's casting stress, you have no chance of losing the ability to cast the spell. In addition, you can cast wish to replicate a spell of 1st through 8th level without expending a 9th level spell slot. You instead expend a slot of the replicated spell's level. Once you use wish in this way, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest. You usually undergo stress from casting wish by doing something other than replicating a spell, which is, for example, giving people resistance to damage types, get a lot of money, heal people, etc. These are basically options you should usually never use, because you have a chance to lose the ability to cast wish. But this is not the case for Sorcerers, which basically means with some downtime, your entire party will have resistance to every damage type in the game. And that's not all, you also get to cast 2 9th level spells a day! That's super strong. You would think this would be an epic feat. This makes epic feat look ridiculous. Anyways, this feature is really cool, and I do approve of it. But I believe that the first part should be completely removed. I really think giving people resistance to all damage types is way too much. And by the way, I'm not saying 2 9th level spell slots isn't a big deal, but this is a capstone, and I do think this is appropriate for a capstone. Let's look at the Scaly subclass. Their HP increased a bit through Draconic Resilience, and their AC was improved. But for the most part, they're still better off wearing armor. They also get a fluff feature called Draconic Speech, which is similar to Draconic Ancestor. I think this is really cool, I like it, but I would like this to work with written text as well. At level 6, they now have an always on damage resistance. It's definitely better than what it used to be, I approve. At level 10, they get to exhale a 15-foot cone of damage instead of single target damage using Sorceress Burst. You would need to get dangerously close for very little damage at this point. I don't really think this is any good, but it may be better than casting a cantrip in certain situations. Finally, their level 14th feature got nerfed quite a lot. Dragon Wings used to give you wings you could use at any point. But now you need to concentrate on a seemingly bad spell, Sorcery Incarnate. I think a good way to improve this feature but keep the flight limited is to allow people to fly while they concentrate on any 5th level spell or higher if they used a spell slot. Overall, Sorcerer was buffed by a ton, and I would prefer if they got toned down. Maybe the best way would be through nerfs to overpowered spells though. I'd also like if they moved some power to their subclass instead of their main class stuff. Let's read a comment before I leave. Hermes says, I'm interested to see if you will do a full DPR comparison of the old champion with the new champion. I got a few comments about this, and for now it's a maybe. I might do it after the playtest, but there's 2 reasons why you shouldn't need to compare them. 1, we can already see it. If we look at the weapon properties and the martials that are in this playtest, we can already see that the power floor has been raised, and that's obviously good. However, the ceiling also needs to be raised. That's what I would like to see. That's what I'm commenting about. Reason number 2 is if I do the math and compare the old champion with the new champion and find out that the new champion is, let's say it's 50% better for some reason. That sounds good, and it is. Number bigger, obviously, right? But I'm literally comparing it to something that is actually trash. If I'm comparing this to trash, then I'm intentionally muddying the water. This is not going to give you a good picture about the actual situation. We should be comparing the new champion with this brand new sorcerer. That's the conversation that should be had. When I made these 2 videos, I had the martial and caster disparity in mind, especially in this playtest. I just went over sorcerer just now. There's no way that new champion fighter is anywhere near that level of power. That explains the thumbnail too, by the way. And lastly, looking at it from a new viewer's perspective, I should have been more clear about my comparisons. I screwed up big time there, but if you're watching this video, then you get it, because I just explained it. Shoutouts to Trent Monk, by the way. I understand why he did the comparison, and it's fine. We're obviously looking at it from different angles, and I don't think we disagree with the caster problem. Anyways, end the video. Remember to check out Describe, by the way. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye!